Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. I am Adam Mckola. We are live. This is transfer deadline day and the transfer window closed in the last 25 minutes. We have got some news that has broken in the last 10 minutes, and that is Marcus Rojo will not be joining Everton. The move has collapsed. He was at Finch Farm, Everton's training ground, earlier on today, but now we are learning that Marcus Rojo will remain a Manchester United player going into the new season. That's after he had a half-decent pre-season for United by just staying fit. Maybe that was the Reds putting him in the shopping window. Today we heard the confirmed news, the only confirmed news of deadline day, that Romelu Lukaku was becoming an Inter Milan player. That follows on from the exit of Ander Herrera, the exit of Antonio Valencia, and of course the arrivals of Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Daniel James to Manchester United. And when we were thinking of a title for this video, I could only think of one title alone, and that was the fact that OLE just has not been backed by the Manchester United board, by the owners in this transfer window. It's that simple. He's failed to back him, and we could suffer for it in this coming campaign. We really could suffer for it in this current campaign coming ahead. So there we have it with the window. Maguire in, Wan-Bissaka in, and of course Daniel James. Now look, let's talk about the players that have come in while we're here. Before I get into the other stuff and start moaning, let's talk about the players that have arrived. Harry Maguire, a centre-half, just exactly what we need. We may have spent a little bit too much, but quite frankly, who cares? I don't. Harry Maguire comes straight into Manchester United's 11. He's our first choice centre-half, and hopefully alongside Axel Tuanzebe, Victor Lindelof, he can form a fantastic partnership with one of those and become the mainstay in our back four. With Luke Shaw at left back and our new signing Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, David De Gea in between the sticks behind him, you feel now the defence is probably our strongest area of the team. I did a video on my channel, youtube.com/Adam Mckola, talking about how United possibly have the best defence in the league on paper at the moment. And when you look at De Gea in goal, the best goalkeeper in the world for me. I know he had a bad season last season, but I'm not counting that. You look at right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, one of the top 3 right backs in the league. Harry Maguire, one of the top 5 centre halves in the league. Victor Lindelof coming along very, very well. We need another good season from him. And Luke Shaw, probably the weakest link in our backline, has it all to improve, all to prove this season. But he had a decent season last season in terms of his fitness, getting player of the year. He'll be full of confidence. So when you look at our first choice back 5, and then Axel Tuanzebe coming into the mix, we've actually got a very strong defence, first choice. It's the problems that lie elsewhere, and it's our failure to replace Ander Herrera as he left on a free for Paris Saint-Germain. It's our failure to replace Romelu Lukaku. I don't really care that Lukaku left. I would have loved to have seen him be a success. I would have loved Lukaku to stay here and score 20, 30 goals a season. And I'm disappointed in the way that it ended. I feel he's been a bit of a knobhead. But with that being said, I could take him leaving if we replaced him in the squad. A Dybala, a Ben Yedder, whatever. Just get someone in to replace him. Quality, yes, but a player to replace him, because we need those numbers. We need those goals. With Lukaku leaving, we're losing 15, 20 goals. 15 goals in a bad season, 30 goals in a good season. We're losing that. And who's going to replace it in the team? Yes, Anthony Martial. Yes, Marcus Rashford. We want them to have great seasons. But we're going into this season, and those two are our only recognised forwards in the squad. That, to me, is diabolical. Manchester United's squad is no better than it was at this point last season, at the season before that, especially in midfield. Our options have got less. We went into last season with the same options plus Fellaini and Herrera, and now we're going into it without. We've lost our second best midfielder, and we're hoping on Scott McTominay to pull off a miracle. We're hoping on Fred to finally show up. There's too many question marks in Manchester United's midfield. Well, Scott McTominay might come good. He might be able to play 40 games a season if he hadn't been perfect. Yeah, but what if he don't? Oh, but Fred might become the player that's worth 52. Yeah, but what if he don't? And if they don't, we're relying on youngsters to fill the gap. The same with us up front. Martial, Rashford, what if they need a rest? What if they get injured? What are we going to do? Mason Greenwood has to come in. Now, Mason Greenwood's such a ridiculously talented kid. And this might be his chance to nail his space in his team. He could be the next Wayne Rooney, but he might not be. And that's the problem. We're putting way too much pressure on the likes of Mason Greenwood, Angel Gomez, Tahith Chong. If we get injuries, those guys are coming in. If we get injuries in midfield, if Pogba gets injured against Chelsea or anyone, we're absolutely ruined in midfield. So I don't see this as being a good summer at all. I see the signings that we've brought in as being very good signings. But I see our squad overall has got weaker. We've sorted the defence out and now we've got a bigger problem in midfield and we've lost one of our goal scorers without replacing him. It doesn't make sense and it's Glazeronomics in full effect yet again. Manchester United spent 80 million on Maguire, 45 million up front on Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and we also spent 15 million on Daniel James. Now, if Daniel James, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire cost us 145, let's say, 150 at a push. If that's what they cost, and then we sold Romelu Lukaku for 70 million, that means we've spent 80 million this summer. We spent 80 million last summer. And that was having us finish second and then trying to close the gap to Manchester City. It just doesn't make sense and it's inept. It's absolutely inept by the board, by Woodward, by everyone. Where's our director of football you keep briefing about? You still haven't sorted that out. Where is it? Where's the players that we need to bring? I'm not just saying, oh mate, go buy Messi. I'm not one of those idiots. And I don't always want to see marquee names coming in. But I want to see players come in. But it started when he didn't get the players he needed. And it's happening again. And I don't believe, since we finished second to City, we've signed Delo, Fred, Lee Grant, Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Daniel James. That has been our rebuild since then. And we've let go Lukaku, Fellaini, and Herrera. Two of those players, Lukaku and Herrera, you'd think would be part of the rebuild. But no. So it's a weird one, United. I'm happy with what Ollie's been doing on the pitch. I'm happy with the way his pre-season went. I'm happy with the way the players are responding to his football. I'm happy with the signings he's made. I'm happy with the fact he didn't go all out for Dybala because he felt he didn't want to join the club. I like that. Sign players that want to be here. But Ollie also needs help. He can't get by with this team. We heard him last season. I'm going to have to get ruthless. Some of these lot ain't going to be here. I'm going to be a success here. But these lot? He's already questioned some of these lot. Now he has to come out and put a brave face on and say, I'm happy with what I've got. You know, he needs to keep his squad positive. He needs to keep them together. He needs to keep them confident going forward. But I don't blame him if deep down he's thinking, what have I got myself into here? Because whilst our defence has improved, whilst we've taken one step forward, we've taken 2 steps backwards because our midfield is weaker than it was before the start of last season. It's the same midfield minus Fellaini and Herrera. Now, I don't really care about Fellaini, but Herrera needed replacing, didn't he? Herrera needed replacing. Lukaku's gone. Guess who we've got? Rashford and Martial with Mason Greenwood behind them. The poor boy, 17-year-old, coming into pressure like he's never known. Never known. And it's going to be I'm worried it's going to be another frustrating season. Half of me wants to be positive, confident, excited for the new campaign. Because I actually think we'll beat Chelsea and I actually think our first 11 isn't that bad. But over the course of a season, when you've got Europa League football, you're playing in 4 competitions, is our squad going to be able to cope? Are we going to be able to rely on younger players to deliver for us week in, week out? I don't think we are. And the one who will fall for this, if it doesn't go right, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. When really, it's the same mistakes that those above him are making that are causing the stuff that's going on the pitch to be this way. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's how it's felt over these last 6 years. And we just don't have a genius to cover up for what these guys are doing. And they could take some responsibility and push, you know. Delegate to people that know what they're doing. But they don't even do that. So I think it's going to be a very long, very roller coaster of emotions of a campaign. It's going to be a wild one. Hopefully it's a successful one. Hopefully the kids prove us, you know, that you can win something with kids. Hopefully Martial and Rashford had their 06-07 season like Rooney and Ronaldo. But there's too many question marks in this team. Too many question marks. And I fear if the answers come back negative, it's going to be a bad season for Manchester United. Although, deep down, that little boy inside of me is saying, it's going to be a good one. Adam, shut up and look forward to Sunday. But the realism is starting to hit. Let us know what you guys think in those comments below.